So good morning, all of you here. See, in today's class, what I'm planning you observe here. In connection with, see, I'm going to start actually module 2 welded connection problem. I'll start today. I'll solve one simple problem. I'll not go into the details of the theoretical aspects because only problems will be there, but notes will be given for every topic. See, for example, module 1 we have covered here. See this one here. I'll just take this one. Advantages and disadvantages, limit state. This will be again revised. IS code provisions. Today, IS code along with that, I'll start welded connections. Plastic behavior, plastic theory, plastic hinge concept, plastic collapse load, load factor, shape factor, theorem of plastic collapse, methods of plastic analysis of continuous beams. So what I will be doing is, I'll be giving the PDF notes of this probably tomorrow. I'll give the notes because I have to because in the meanwhile they are going to announce the timetable for first test. So in connection with that, assignment will be given. You prepare that questions, problems also you can solve. So here I will be giving the problems also with solutions. With solutions, problems will be given. Some practice examples will be given. You have to prepare that much for first test. Now coming to the second module. What you should do, I'll tell you. What you should do is, once the notes is given to you, you should check the PDF whether it is as per the module or not. It should be as per the module. Okay. Now you can see this one here. What is there in the module 2? Module 2 is all about bolted and welded connections. You can see this one here, module. Bolted connections, introduction, types of bolts, behavior of bolted joints, design of high strength friction grip, HSFG, high strength friction grip bolts, design of simple bolted connections, lap and butt joints and bracket connections. Second part is module 2. Second part is welded connections, introduction, types and properties of welds, effective area of welds, weld defects. Okay. Welded connections, you can say simple weld joints for truss member and bracket connections, advantages and disadvantages bolted and welded connections. Whether a welded connection is better or bolted connection is better, that you have to see towards the end. And basically there will be problems on bolted connection. Question number 3, question number 4 of your final exam is welded connection. So basically you can prepare any one of these two for the sake of this module. Either you can prepare welded or bolted connection, any one. But the problem here is if you try to prepare only one of these, you may face difficulties in the remaining modules. So in the remaining modules, bolted connection, some problems are there. For example, compression member and tension member. See, the next modules are here. You can see here. This is a, you can say, compression member. Okay. Tension member. Finally, beams, design of beams using plastic theory. The problem here is you cannot leave bolted or welded connections. You have to prepare both. Then only we can follow the remaining modules. So I'll start with the welded connection. Preferably in the examination, I want you to solve a problem on bolted connection. If possible, it's better. It depends actually, because welded is a little bit easier than bolted connections. But in the remaining modules, bolted connection are there. Compression tension means it is bolted connection. It means I can join two members either by using bolts or by welding them together. That is why it is given here, same model they have given. You can see this model is same. You can see this part, this is bolted connection. You can see this one, this is welded connection. Okay. So what exactly are these two? If I want to join members, two members, that can be done by using bolts or that can be done by welding them. Both options are available, but it is not, I cannot say that everywhere welded connections can be used and bolted is, it is already outdated. It is not like that. Bolted joints are not outdated. Even now, we have to use in some places bolted connections because it has got its own advantages. So wherever it is it is desirable to use bolted connections, we are going to use bolted connections there. And wherever welded connections are required, in some applications, we can use welded connections. Welded connection is usually we say that better than bolted connection, but there are some applications where I have to use bolted connections. Now observe this one here. Simple way of understanding this one is just observe this. I'll start with a very simple thing. Observe here. So what I will do here is I'll start with the this one here. Just say this. Steel. It is a steel truss. It is a steel truss. All these are either compression or tension members. Okay. All these are either compression or tension members. Usually, in case of a simply supported truss, you can see here. I'm showing some arrows here, like this. What I'm trying to tell you is, in case of simply supported truss, not cantilever truss. What I'm showing, observe here, in what direction I'm trying to show them. See the arrows, how I am marking them. So let us not worry about the inside members. Only look at top chord members and bottom chord members. Top and bottom chord members. Okay, just see this. What do I mean by top chord members? In case of a truss, this is A, this is B joint, this is C, this joint is D, this is E. Okay. So you imagine one industrial shed. If you have seen any industrial shed, inside, if you go there, you will see when you look at the top, these are the trusses on which roofing is done. Roofing is done on these trusses. They are usually these trusses are placed at a distance of 3 meter. Distance between one truss to another truss is usually, we can say, 3 meters. Now, A, B, C, D, and E are, we call them as top chord members. Before I start bolted and all that, I'm telling you something here. TOP, top chord, CHORD. What I'm trying to tell you is A, B, C, D, E are top chord members. I'll write G here, H here. Bottom chord members are A, H, G, F. Four members are there. A, H, G, H, G, G, F. We call them as bottom chord members if the truss is simply supported. All the bottom chords are, all the top chords are compression members. We have to design them as compression members, which is next module actually. Next module. If you look at bottom chord members, all these are tension members. If the truss is simply supported like this, it means, sir, it means if you look at the syllabus here, when you look at the syllabus, what it is you should understand. Once the bolted and welded connections are over, we are going to start compression and tension members, which are nothing but, we can say, this truss itself gives you some idea about there are some tension members because these members are subjected to tensile forces. Top chord members are subjected to compressive forces. Accordingly, it means if I tell you to design this member, usually these are all angle sections. Most of the truss members are angle sections. Either single angle is there or two angles are connected back to back. That you will learn. It means in order to design a truss completely, you should have studied module 3 as well as module 4. You cannot design a truss completely without completing module 2, 3, and 4. What you learn in module 2, observe here. In module 3, you're learning how to design these members A, B, B, C, C, D, and all top chord members. In module 4, you are going to understand how to design the bottom chord members. Those are all tension members. So separate modules are there for that. Steel column is also one type of compression member only. It means once you study this third module, you are able to design the steel column as well as you are able to design the top chord members of a truss. Okay. So this is how your syllabus is organized actually. Now coming back to bolted and welded connections. What exactly you are going to study here? You please understand one thing. Same member can be connected using bolts or same members can be connected using welds by welding them together or by providing holes and common holes, and we can use the bolts and connect them. That thing you are going to learn in this. Now where does this part come in here? Where does module 2 comes in this truss here? Where it comes actually? I'm telling you module 2 is all about study of bolted and welded connections. Now I'll show you here. Observe where it is required. Where it is required. Once I complete the module 2, how it helps you for this particular truss, for example. You observe this one here. What I will do is I will take this joint B, and I'll tell you how this joint B is connected to module 2. Observe here. Just observe this. I'm trying to tell you how this joint B is related to module 2. Observe this. So initially what I will do, I will try to enlarge this part. I will try to enlarge here. If you enlarge this one, you are going to see the actual member, whether it is a channel section or eye section, what it is, or it is angle section, that you will learn here. So I'll enlarge this joint B here. I'm going to enlarge this joint B. Observe this. This is one member, which is that AB. This member is AB. Then what I will do, it ends here. It is an angle section. You learn this one. It is not a plate, it is an angle section. Initially, I will start with plates only, but here, since it is a truss, I cannot say it is a plate is connected. Angle is connected here. Now I will come here. One more angle is connected this side. Okay. So this is a member BC. This is member BC this side. This is AB. I'll write it again here. Where is A? A is here. This is the joint. No, here it is A. AB is this one, this side. Okay. Now observe this. This side it is AB. This side it is BC. One more member is BH. Just blindly follow this what I am telling. One more member is this member. What is this member? This is BH. So I have enlarged it. I have enlarged the joint B. This is the position at joint B. Since these are not completed, I'll show this symbol here. This member is not completed here. Now I have to connect these three members at a common point. How to do that? My job is to connect these members. So this is the whatever B joint is there, that is enlarged here. Now, how do I connect these three members? How do I connect them? So I have to use one more plate, flat plate. On that plate, I should connect all these members, and that plate is gusset plate. We call it as simply, we call it as a gusset plate here. It can be of any shape. It can be, it can be like this. Observe this. There is no hard and fast rule about what should be the shape of this. So, because a plate is taken, flat plate is taken, all these members are put together. Now, this plate is called as gusset plate. It depends upon, see, the size of the gusset plate depends upon how much is the length of the weld. If more force is to be carried, weld length has to be more. Or in case of bolted connections, what I can say, if the force is more, I need more number of bolts. That time automatically the size of the gusset plate, I'll write it, observe here. Any questions are there, you can ask right now. So this plate is called as, it is usually 10 to 15 mm thick, this plate. Flat plate is there of any shape. Any shape, it can be rectangular, it can be trapezoidal, it can be irregular. Any shape, as long as I can weld or I can use the bolts to connect the members properly. So this is what we call it as gusset plate. What is the job of the gusset plate here? Gusset plate. I'm going in a very basic way here, very basic things I'm telling. Okay. So I have enlarged the joint B, and I'm telling you that all these members are angle sections. Angle section, again, many of you will get confused here. That part I'll tell you again. Actually, that next part is that only. This is the angle section. Angle section will be either equal angle or unequal angle section. Let us say this is 100 mm, this is 80 mm, thickness is 8 mm, thickness of this, average thickness. The shape is not perfectly rectangular. You will not get two rectangles here. But how to deal with that? You will understand. How to deal with such, how do I find the area? How do I find the centroid? How do I find the moment of inertia of this? All those things are directly available in steel tables. You don't have to calculate anything there. Okay. So this is the angle section which is used here. All the three are angle sections of this type. It can be equal angle or it can be unequal angle like this. Equal means if this is 100, this is also 100. If this is 80, this is also 80, as you know it. Now coming back to gusset plate and these members. Okay. Now what I will do is I have two options to join these members, connect these members with gusset plate. I have two options here. See this, those are the options. What I will do is I will just connect the plate by applying weld this side, weld this side. So this is the enlarged joint B here. Joint B is enlarged. Now a steel plate is taken and this plate is used to connect all the three members. Now first option that I got here is I'm going to use welds here. By welding I can connect these. So these are welded not to each other. These are welded to a common plate. These are welded to a common plate which is common to three members. And this is what we call it as a gusset plate. So this is, if you try to use welding method, this is the way you should do it. And the length calculation, length and size of the weld is there. Today only I will discuss that one. So length, what should be the length of this? How much is the length? Once the length of all these angles are decided, based on that only you can finalize the size of the gusset plate. So once the lengths are, because it has to overlap, I cannot use a smaller gusset plate when I need more length of the weld. That is not allowed. So this is one option of module 2 is related to this type. Module 2 part 2 is related to this type of problems wherein I'll be using a plate and a member. This is a plate, this is a member to connect them. Okay. Now second is either use welds or use bolted connection. Now imagine these welds are not there. That is, you should imagine now because I have already used it. I'll try to remove that one. See this weld, I'm removing the weld here. I'm going to use the second option, that is bolted connection. Weld is not there now. Imagine these lines are removed, that's all. Weld is not there. Weld is removed. Okay. Now the second option is to connect them using what is called as bolted connection. So what I will do, depending upon my design of bolted connection, that I will be doing in module 2. What am I supposed to find out here? What is the diameter and number of bolts? That is a design. It depends upon how much force is acting, how much force is this member carrying, how much force this member is carrying here, how much force this member carries. After analysis of truss, you will be knowing the forces in each members. Those are the forces we are going to use to design these members, because it means in the previous semesters you studied how to analyze a frame. After analysis, we are able to say it is a compression member carrying, let us say, 56 kilonewtons or 35 kilonewtons, like that. It means The truss is already analyzed. I know the forces in these members. Once I know the forces in members, I'll be able to decide how many bolts are required here. I'll show the bolts here. I'll try to draw that one. Let us say 4 bolts are required for this. One is here. Second, along the straight line, axis is common. Like this. So what has happened? This member is connected to the gusset plate by using bolts. Bolts are connected. So this angle section, holes are made here. Even in the plate, holes are made with common axis, and bolts are inserted, and using the nuts on either side, we are going to join them together tightly. Okay, you are going to join them tightly. This side also, you can see, let us say, as per our design, the force is less, 3 bolts are enough. Here also we can say like this. It means what is this here is, this is a joint B. At joint B, 3 members angle sections are connected. Usually, as I told you, in steel trusses, usually steel trusses are designed using only angle sections, not channel or not I sections. You will come to know what is the reason later on. You go to any industry, look at the top, look at the truss. 99 out of 100 times, those are all angle sections. Okay. So if I weld these 3 to this gusset plate, it is welded connection. If I use bolts here, number of bolts, that's what we are designing. So number of bolts at the pitch distance. The distance between the center to center distance between the 2 bolts is called as pitch, small p. It's called as pitch. What is should be the pitch? How these should be connected? How many number of bolts I need? How to find the number of bolts? What are the modes of failure? Everything will be there in bolted connection. It means here, it means either I can weld them and join them, or I can use the bolts and connect them. So bolted connection is you have to create the punch holes here. You have to punch holes through the plate as well as through the angle section. One of the side of the angle section here. This horizontal part it is. On the horizontal part, for example, you can see here. Here the hole is, this much is hole is created here. Okay, then a bolt is inserted, and at the top, bottom, we have to use the nuts. Bottom, use the nuts and tighten it. So like this, bolted connections are done. But I'm going to start today welded connection. According to me, it is a little bit easier. One simple formula is there to find out, and that formula is available in the code book, or on which page number it is available. That also I'll show you. Okay. So let us start with this one here. Is it clear what I'm telling you now? Don't worry about this figure. This figure later it will come. Only look at this truss and the joint B. This is the joint B. So any questions here? Now I'll proceed with the next section here. This is where, see, this is a very basic introduction of module 2. Okay. But I told you already that if you want to design the truss completely, tension members, compression members, and this joint will be designed in this module only. Module 2, 3, and 4, if you learn completely, you can design a truss fully. And what are the forces in these members? Already you studied in previous semesters, analysis of truss, where vertical forces are given. You have calculated the forces in all these members. That is already done. Here what they will do, here forces in all the members will be given as if analysis is already done. You have to design the compression tension members and design the joint here. If you want to design the joint, you should be good in module 2. If you want to design the compression member, you should be good in module 3. If you want to design the tension member, you should be good in module 4, like that. So let us see that one here. In case of steel structure, I'll just go back to this. So this is the syllabus here. Syllabus is done. Again, observe bolted connections, welded connections, design of compression members, design of tension members, design of beams. Beams will be taken up later because you have the extended version in the next semester. When you go to 7th sem, this will come. Beams extended portion. That is a beam for bridges. That will be there. So let us start this particular syllabus. I think is clear now. Module 1 is completed. Module 2 I have started. Module 1 related any topics if I have left, I will cover it. Today I wanted to engage extra class, but there is a problem. There is a problem from 4 to 6. I have to be online Zoom along with all the staff members. One meeting is there with the principal. So it may extend. That's why yesterday I was free, but I could not engage. Today, not possible because 4 to 6 I'll be busy. Tomorrow I'll adjust and I'll engage extra classes. It is very difficult to satisfy every student's needs here. He will be free sometime. It is very difficult. See, today is also extra class is gone now. Suddenly they announced 4 to 5 or 5:30 discussion is there. So let us go to the next here. I'll go to this. See this. Okay. Rolled steel sections. Rolled steel sections. I'll just read this. This notes I'll share. PDF I'll be sending. Like concrete steel section of any size and shape. Just read this one. Like concrete steel section of any size and shape cannot be cast at the site. See, if I go to the site and some concrete building is to be constructed, at the site only I can adjust the dimensions. At the site in the sense, since the beam is cast at the site, for example, 230 millimeter width by 500 depth. So the engineer has the facility to create the beams of his whatever dimensions he chooses. If I say I want 230 by 500, that can be done. If I say 250 by 550, that is possible. If I say 200 by 300, that is possible. But because it can be cast at the site, but here in steel it is not possible. See, like concrete, steel section of any size and shape cannot be cast at the site. Steel sections of standard size, shape, and length are rolled in the steel mills. Tata Steel and whatever you call it, different companies are there with brand names. So those people are manufacturing the steel of specified dimensions. Only those we have to use. Angle section, anything I cannot give. I should choose angle section which is available in the market, because cast in situ is not possible for steel structures. Rolled out steel mills, these sections are usually designated by their cross-sectional shapes. How do you designate them? If it is angle section, you say it is angle channel or simply a flat plate or T section, like that. IS Handbook for Structural Engineering 1 provides the dimensions, weights, and geometrical properties of various sections. So IS Codebook has produced, IS Bureau of Indian Standards has prepared one structural engineering, which is nothing but steel table only. It is along with IS 800. It is there. That also you can, or you can refer for steel tables by Ramamurtham or anything. That I'll show you. Many steel tables are there which are allowed in the exam. So let us see what is there in this. Let us see what is there. Rolled steel I sections. Rolled steel channel sections. I have line diagram is shown there. See, this is the line diagram. I think you can you're able to see that one. Rolled steel I section is here. Rolled steel channel section is here. This is a channel section. Angle section is there. T section is there. Rolled steel bars are there. Rolled steel tubes are there. Steel flats are there. Sheets and strips are there. What I mean to say here is all these are available in the market. You have to go according to these dimensions only. Okay, you cannot provide your own dimension there. You have to check the availability. As per the availability, you have to decide. For example, angle sections. If you look at this angle section here, rolled steel angle sections. Now I'll take you there. So it is ultimately what I'm trying to say here is, it is not possible for a steel designer to have his own dimensions. He has to refer the steel table. Based on that, whichever is matching his design, he has to select that particular section and complete the design process. Now we can see I sections. Rolled steel I section. I'll go to the next page. Observe this one. Fourth one was rolled steel T sections. I'll show you this. I'll steel table also I have uploaded here. I'll show that one. In rolled steel T sections, if I'm trying to use T sections here, I call them as ISNT, Indian Standard Normal T bars. If I say ISNT, it means Indian Standard. IS I have not written here. Indian Standard Normal T bars. ISHT, Indian Standard Heavy Flange T bars. You look at the last alphabet here, it is T. In this case, all are T sections. Some other features are there which are different. ISNT is different, ISHT is different, but both are T sections only. LT, spatial legged T bars, light T bars, ISJT junior T bars. This I'll show you in the book only. I'll open that. This is the I section. This is a channel section. This is unequal angle. This is equal angle. If this is A, this is B. In equal angle, both are same dimensions. Then T sections. So I'll not go into the deep aspects here, because whatever is required for this particular topic module I am explaining here. Even though this only angle is important here, but even then, now you look at the TF means flange thickness, TW means web thickness, BF means bottom flange. You can see bottom flange here for T and all. So TW again web thickness, TF is flange thickness. So thickness of flange, all these are there. Okay. One such ISNT I told you. If I go to page number 2 here, you can see. Now observe here. Now here you can see this IS. This is A, B, C, D, E is there. IS, JB, ISLB. The last alphabet except in the last case, all are B only. Whenever you say it is B, it has to be an I section. See this one. ISGB, Indian Standard Junior Beams. Indian Standard Light Beams, Medium Beams, Wide Flange Beams, Heavy Beams. Okay. So here, all these are I sections. How T section is defined? See the last alphabet, C it is. Channel section means C. So if you see ISJC, ISLC, ISMC, if the last alphabet is C, it has to be a channel section. Here it is simply ISA. ISA means ISA 6068 means 60 mm by 60 mm by 8 mm thick, like that. These two are the legs of I section, vertical leg, horizontal leg. Okay. For example, ISA, Indian Standard Angle 3020. I should have written thickness also. Let us say 6 mm. So 3020 is 30 by 20 size. One side is 30, one more is 20. If I say ISA 3030, it is equilateral. Thickness can be anything. If I write 3030, it has to be equilateral. If I write these two dimensions, 30 and 20, one can be 30 vertical leg, horizontal will be 20 like that. It can be either, anything. So this is how you should understand this steel table. Okay, I'll show you that one also. I think I have uploaded that. Otherwise, I need to. Here, what I have done is I have completely uploaded IS 800 is there here. IS 800 is there. Only specific page I have opened here. Specific page of IS 800 is opened. IS 800 is as IS 456 was there for concrete. Similarly, IS 800 is there for steel design. If you open this, if you are having a soft copy, later on you check page number 79. Just note it. In the today's discussion that I'm going to solve problem on welded connection. 79 is important page number. This is 79, not that PDF page shows that page will be different. Actual page number of IS code, that is 79. You should open 79 of code book. What I'll be doing there, you observe. What I'll be doing here, you observe. This will come later actually, but I'm just give you some idea here. This part I'm going to make use of. You please note the page number and 10.7.1.1 fillet welds. Based on this part, I'll be able to solve one problem here. This is the formula which you need to understand. No need to remember. As I told you, in steel structure, one advantage is all the formula are available in this code book. It is more than 150 pages. You need to understand where those are available. That's why I'm telling you, in your syllabus, if you have module 2 means immediately you write this page number. Lot of page numbers you have to write. Hello. Oh, so So what I was telling is every formula is available in this code book. You should know which page number. So for example, if you are having a hard copy of your syllabus right now, immediately what you should do on module 2, you write this page number 79. Write page number 79 for welds. So in every module, the moment I show you that particular page, in that module you should write it actually. For this module, I need these pages. So once the portion is completed, you will be having a hard copy of syllabus in which every module, which page you are supposed to refer, it will be there for you. So now what you can do, page number 79, you remember here. You can see the pages, 150 pages are there here. See this. Can you see this one? 150. It is a little bit blurred here. On 85, I'm on 85, but some pages will be there. No, that is why this number is not indicating 74 here, huh? Because cover page, back page, everything included, it has become 85. So you should open page with respect to codebook 79. Even though here it shows 85, it is showing. Okay, totally 150 pages are there. This is allowed in the examination. Okay, let us discuss this one later on. Later on, we'll discuss it. If you want, you can write in the hard somewhere in your hard page, some page 10.5.7.1.1 shop welds or fillet welds. Just write fillet welds. What it is, you will learn today only. Okay. Let us go to the next steel table. How to refer, I'll explain now. Then I can start then I can solve a problem. Immediately I'll solve one problem because it is very simple. Welded joints are, it is here, see it is here. I'll just take it up later on. Whether I have uploaded this one, I don't remember actually. I'll show you the steel table here. With respect to whatever I discussed, rolled sections, how do you understand that? I'll show you. So this is the book that you need to purchase. It is allowed in the examination. Birla's or Agar. Author name is Agar. This is allowed in the examination. "97 pages are there. See this. It shows here 97 pages. So as per the this one, as per this particular whatever I have downloaded here, page number 1 is this. Cover page is page number 1. Let us see this one here. I'll show you, for example, some sections I'll explain how it is. This is page 3. Again, nothing has started here also. Page number 4, it is content. Content. List of tables and all that you can see here. Rolled steel equal angles, rolled steel unequal angles, page number 1, 2, 6. Rolled steel T-bars, beams, channels, properties of two equal angles back to back. When they are connected back to back, two angles are connected. One angle may not be sufficient, that time you have to go for two angles. So all this you can see here inside. So 33 topics are there total, 33 up to 92 page number. Areas of round bars in slabs. These are all extra it is. These are all, we don't require this, but moment of inertia of two flanges. Anyway, before that, let us go to any one of the sections here. Symbols are given. A, small a is sectional area, B is width of the flange, capital A longer leg, B the shorter leg of an unequal, CXX lesser of the two extreme fiber from x-axis, centroid values. CYY, those are centroid values. RX is radius of gyration, RYY. See these symbols you can see later on here. I'll go to symbols you can see later. There is no this one here. For example, I start with this is page table number what it is. What is table number 1? So you read this table 1, rolled steel equal angles. If you are having that book, it is better to open, or else you can see here. I'll open in some other software because I'm not able to see all the columns here. Few columns are missing from this presentation here. Up to distance from extreme fiber, I'm able to see here. Before that, I'll just tell you what it is. Just see here. This is angle section here. Okay. Page number 7. Here, page number 7 of this. But it is not page number 7. It will not show here. I think it will show some other page. Anyway, you can see this here. First, let us start with ISA 2020. It means it is equal angle. Both the horizontal and vertical legs are 20 mm, 20 mm thickness. These are available in the market with two different thickness. If you want 20-23 mm thick, you can place order. If you want 20-24 mm thickness is different. Thickness means this thickness, whatever is here, thickness of the angle is different. Two different thickness available. Area is centimeter square. Area of the angle section is directly given 1.12. Weight per meter in kilograms. In newtons given here. In newtons also given. In kilogram also it is given. Weight per meter means if you purchase 1 meter length, the weight will be 8.8 Newton. If you purchase 1 meter length of 4 mm thick ISA 2020, the weight will be 10.8 Newton per meter length. Every 1 meter length, its weight is 10.8. Center of gravity CXX is equal to CYY. Now you can see here. What it is you can see here. When both angles, both the legs are of same size. This one, this is 20. This is also 20. When both the sides are same dimensions, you will have the centroid somewhere here. So whether X bar or Y bar will be same from this corner. Whether you measure this distance or this, it will be same. That is why CXX is equal to CYY. CXX is 0.59 centimeter. You should be careful here. The problem will be in millimeters. You should be able to convert them in millimeters, then solve the problem. You look at the table properly, whether the value is in cm or mm. So CXX is equal to CYY. Distance of extreme fiber is given here, 0.59. This table is I'm not able to open this table. All the remaining tables, still a lot of tables are there in this page. I'll just open that and I'll tell you. Then I will start with all those geometrical properties will be there. If you see that one, And everybody should have those these two books. Everybody should have both steel table and IS 800 books. So in all, what I was trying to tell you is, see this one, like this. If you go to the next is ISA 2525, ISA 3030. Each side is 30 mm, 30 mm. Again, there are three thickness available for ISA 3030, 3 mm thick, 4 mm thick, 5 mm thick are available in the market. So these are all readily available members. Similarly, you can go to the angle section or unequal angle, anything. This is equal angle is over. Table 1 is continued. Again, table 1 is continued here. If you see the pages, now unequal angle has started here. Table 2 comes here. 3-4 pages of table 1 is there. Now it is clear. See, this is clear here. All the everything is available here. I wanted to tell this one. CX, CY, EX, EY, IX. See this moment of inertia. This I will tell you later on, because see, moment of inertia in centimeter raised to 4 is written here. Don't get confused. If we okay. This is cm raised to 4 IX. It is in cm raised to 4 IY, IVV, that is IUU, IVV. You don't worry about this column. Unsymmetrical section, moment of inertias. These two are unsymmetrical bending. These values are related to unsymmetrical bending, which will not be there in your syllabus for this semester. So only I want IX value 1.2 centimeter raised to 4. IY is 0.4 centimeter raised to 4. You should be able to convert it in mm raised to 4. So this is how the table you should understand. Similarly, I section, T section, everything will go there. It means all the properties you don't need to calculate anything. Centroid, moment of inertia, you don't have to calculate anything here for the given section. Area is available. Every geometrical property is available in the steel table. So this is what I was trying to make clear. So let us start with one simple problem on this. So as you start working more on steel tables, you learn how to use it. In this particular module 2, we are not using steel table much. It will be used maximum in the next 2 modules. We have to check the size and all. Okay. So I'll start this welded connection. Welded connection. I'll try to solve one problem. Observe here, because according to me it is a simple thing here, not a difficult chapter. It is. See this one here. So this is a gusset plate and this is just a flat plate. It is not angle. It is a flat plate. Initially, you have to solve in this particular module problem on using flat plates. Angle sections later on. Now observe here how to solve this. What exactly I'm trying to do here is, say, load calculation I am doing. It means welded connection, length of the weld is given. How much is the length of the weld? So this plate is connected to this member 250 ISF 14. 250 ISF 14. This plate is designated like this. What is the meaning of this? It means this is 250. See this. 250 Indian Standard Flat ISF. This is 250. And what is this 14? 14 is the thickness of this plate. I'll try to draw an isometric figure here. See, This is 250. So you can see this. So you can say this thickness is 14 mm because this is 14, and this is width is length can be anything. Length, whatever length is required for the particular structure, that much length we have to purchase it. Length can be anything. Length is not shown. Only cross section dimensions are important for calculation. This is 250. So this to this. So in short, this is 250. This to this. Thickness is 14. It is designated by 250 Indian Standard Flat 14. Okay. Now what I'm trying to do here is everything is done here. This is a gusset plate. This is a member. A member is welded to the gusset plate. There can be few more members connected to this gusset plate. That is not important for this problem. We are concentrating on only one plate or only one member which is connected to gusset plate. Okay. So this one is gusset plate. This one is the member. It can be. It is a tension member because it is carrying a tensile force of PUW. So PUW is a load that this member can carry. How much load this will carry now? Weld is done. Welding is done like this. How much is the load carrying capacity of this particular joint? How to do that? Now observe here. Very interesting and important problem it is. First example of welded joints. So we should go back to strength of materials to understand this. Just observe here. Here, I'll start with strength of materials. First chapter of strength of materials. What is that? Stress is equal to, what is stress equal to? Load
Load by area.
cross sectional area. Stress is equal to P by A, or you can say F is equal to. I'm going to use F in place of sigma. F equal to P by A, or P is equal to what? F into, simple formula is there. F into A. That means load that can be carried by the weld, PW. I'll tell you what is PUW. It's ultimate actually. If I write PUW, anyway, both are, we can say one and the same. PW is equal to stress in weld into area of weld. So simple formula is used to find out this forces. I don't know why it is showing a little bit dull. It is coming. I will check it. So once again, you observe here. Once again, you can see I'm going back to strength of material and trying to do something here. Very simple formula it is. Load carried by the welded joint is equal to permissible stress in the welded joint into area of the welded joint. Now, how do you find area of the welded joint? That I will show you. Very simple formula I am starting with from strength of materials. So in the given problem of this module, initially I am going to calculate PW. Length of the weld, cross section dimensions can be calculated. Okay. Now see how it is done here. So that I can start that problem. This is a This is one plate. Over this, one more plate is connected like this. These are the two plates which are connected like this, one above the other. So we call it as fillet weld. Fillet weld. If they're just butting each other, if the two members are just butting each other, butting means touching each other like this. See this. This is one member. One more member is just touching here like this. They're close to each other, almost touching. Then if the weld is applied here and connected, I'm going to connect them like this by applying weld like this. This type of joint is butt joint. They're just butting each other, butt, B-U-T-T. This is fillet. They are overlapping. Fillet or lap joint. The plate is overlapping. One plate is above the another plate and weld is connected here. The see here, slightly, I'll just fillet weld I'll show you here. Slightly I'll come inside. I'll tell you 1.5 mm it is. I'll tell you that one. This is the weld connected. By using this is the cross section magnified. So this is all weld here. Cross section of the weld looks something like this. So this is the elevation of two plates. In plan, you observe this. In plan, I'll try to show smaller width because I cannot accommodate here. This plate, this one I'll show here. Just see. This is the plate here, top plate, this plate. And the bottom plate is here. Bottom plate will be, it starts like this. This is the bottom plate. The width of the bottom plate is more than top plate. So this is B1, I can say. This is B2. Bottom plate is B2. So whatever B1, B2 is there, it is the plan. This one is elevation. Here I can see the thickness. T1, both can be same or both can be different thicknesses. T1 and T2. In the problem that I am solving, both are having same thickness initially. Then if you see this red color cross section of the weld, how it is shown in the plan, you can show it like single lines. Weld is connected like this. If this is not sufficient, you apply weld here also. This means these two. In elevation, it looks like this. In plan, it is easy to understand. See this. This side edges. This side edges are again welded. Automatically, as the length of the weld, see the length of the weld is total length has increased. So if the length, see if the length is more, automatically its load carrying capacity will be more. It can carry more force. That is, I can show here. This one, this one. Okay. This PUW or whatever, PW or PUW, it is nothing but the load carrying capacity of the welded joint. Usually it is PUW in this subject. Anyway, it is whatever it is, but it is ultimately it is the ultimate load that the joint can carry. Okay. So how do you find the cross sectional area A1? What I was telling, AW. See this. FW is available from the, it is a standard value it is. I'll tell you how to find it. Standard value for the welded connection, this value will be given or you can just calculate indirectly. But what is AW? What is the cross-sectional area of weld? You look at this diagram here. Cross-sectional area is length into thickness. See this one, I'll just make it clear here. Let us say that this is available for us. This is welded like this. Observe this one. AW, how to calculate, I am explaining now. This is L. If these two are also applied, total L I should take. Total L. L is equal to this plus this plus this. If this is 300, this is 250. It is 300 plus 250, again 300. That becomes L. L is the total length of the weld. So here, L into thickness. AW is equal to what? Length of weld into thickness of the weld. So try to get this one. AW, I'll write it here. This is L. This is L into thickness of the weld. Now, where is the thickness of the weld here? L, you know, this is L, or it can be entire thing is L. Okay. So I'll solve this problem and we'll stop it. I'll solve the problem and I will stop it now. See, FW, I'll tell you how to get it in the problem. AW is length into thickness. Cross-sectional area of the weld is length into thickness. Where is the thickness here? Thickness is in this portion. How to get it? I'll show. Observe this. Observe this now. What is this T? Thickness of the weld. I am showing it. Observe. This is important here. So 45-degree line is drawn here like this inside. And these two points are connected. And these circular points are connected here. End points like this. So this is T. What is T? This one is. This is P here. So the distance T, this is the length is on in plan, you will get the length. In the elevation, you are seeing this thickness. What is thickness? Observe here again, I'll show you. What is the thickness? Clearly observe this one. I'll draw one line, that is thickness now. I'll start from this. It ends here only. See, this is, it ends here. This portion is a reinforcement. It is of no use. It will not come in any calculation. This to this, clearly see this. This is thickness. This is S, size of the weld. This side is also size of the weld. Okay. Size of the weld, and in the calculation, I'm going to use T value. So this is the thickness, because average thickness I have to calculate. Maximum thickness I should use. As you move towards this end, the thickness is reducing here. Exactly at 45 degrees here, the T is more. So that is the thickness of the weld. Where I'm going to use it? I am going to use this thickness here. See, in A, in case of this formula, A is equal to area of the weld, length into thickness of the weld. That thickness I have explained just now here. Okay. It is very easy to calculate. S will be given. So I'll write it here so that I can just solve a small example and I will stop it. In this figure, cross section of the weld, how to calculate this thickness of the weld? Weld thickness TW equal to 0.7 times the size of the weld. So S is, this is S, it is not 5, it is S. What is that S? This is the S. It is, let us say, 8 mm. S is 8 mm. How to find thickness here? Thickness of the weld, it is 0.7 times the size of the weld, which is 8 mm. So if S is 8 mm, substitute 8 here. 0.7 into 8 will give you weld thickness. So let us go to that example. So in 5 minutes, I will stop it. I'll take just 5 minutes to tell you how to solve. How to use that code book also. Okay. So see here. This is the notes I'll be giving it. So how to calculate the load carrying capacity? It is equal to stress in the weld into LE into TE. LE is the total length of the weld into throat thickness. It is also called as throat thickness or thickness of the weld. It is 0.7 times S, where S is the size of the weld. Is it clear, this one? So let us okay. Um, I think I should stop it here only because so in the tomorrow's class I will use this one here, this formula. Okay. Now observe this part. This part I'll cover and I'll stop it now. So here, load carried by the welded joint is equal to stress in the welded joint into area of the welded joint. FWD. How it is calculated, I will explain and we'll stop it for today. Now this is a, see how FWD is calculated is here. How to calculate this one? Fu is the ultimate stress of the material, which is 410 divided by root 3, because see I have to use some in design I have to use some conditions or some parameters which brings this FWD into the permissible limit. I cannot use directly 410. So to bring it to permissible limit, what I have done is Fu by root 3 is the value of this one ultimate weld strength, again divided by the partial safety factor. So Fu by root 3 is the ultimate weld strength. Divide this Fu by root 3 by partial safety factor, gamma MW. So 410 ultimate strength divided by root 3. This entire thing is 410 by root 3 is the ultimate strength in weld. Permissible strength in weld is divide this number by partial safety factor, which is 1.25. So finally I got a value of 189.4. So what is this? This is FWD. FWD is equal to 189.4. If you remember this one, simply Fu by root 3 into gamma. Fu by root 3 into gamma, where Fu is the ultimate strength of the weld, which is 410 by root 3. So how it is done, you observe here. Strength of the weld and strength of the steel are not same. Strength of the steel is 410, but strength of the weld is not that much. It is divided by root 3. So 410 by root 3 is strength, ultimate strength in the weld divided by factor of shift, 1.25. So if you don't remember this one, you open page 74 and you can see that also. So after that, I will stop it. Last 1 minute is left. 1 or 2 minutes. I'll show you where it is. See this. Now I have come to the last part of this. FWD is equal to FU by gamma W, FWN. What is this FWN? FU by root 3. So finally, how this formula has become, whatever I have written there, it has become like that only. See this here. I'll just do this one. And so FWD, design strength of fillet weld FWD shall be based on the throat area and shall be given by this one. Whatever I told you, it is same. Don't get confused here. In place of this, I'm going to use FU by root 3. So you replace this one with FU by root 3. What will happen? FU divided by root 3 and gamma MW is there. No, I'll write it this side into gamma weld, partial safety factor for weld M. So same formula I have made it easier here. This formula is made easier in the notes. In the notes I have made it easier. See this. What I have done, FWD is equal to FU by root 3. Again, that is divided by partial safety factor. Finally, you remember 189.4. Okay. So in the next class, I will continue that one. I'll announce the time. 1 hour I'll engage. 2 hour means it may be a little bit boring now. But if the problem is big enough, I'll go up to 2 hours.